We're going to hear from attorney Brian Shealy in just a moment.
That's right. Following today's arguments, Murdaugh's attorneys did meet with the media. This is what they had to say.
Well, as you know, he's not going to get out of jail if we win this. He believes, advocates that he did not kill Maggie and Paul. He believes somebody else did. What?
He knows he didn't do it.
Yeah, he knows.
It's not a belief. So that's what he expresses to us. But frankly, you know, he accepts that he's in prison. He doesn't regret being in prison, believe it or not. He's got a very positive attitude. He said he deserved to go to prison for what he did financially, but he can't accept the fact that he was convicted of murdering his wife and son.
All right there, we just heard from the team of attorneys for Alex-Murdaugh. Were you surprised by anything they had to say today in the courtroom or outside for that interview?
I'm not. I mean, they're maintaining their client's innocence. I mean, it's hard to be an effective lawyer if you're outwardly showing to the world that you think your client did it. So I truly believe that his defense team believes he is innocent. I think they acknowledge the fact that he's guilty on the financial crimes, but that I think it's more of a legacy argument for Mr. Murdaugh personally. I think he can't live with the idea of a conviction for that. I mean, that's basically what they've been saying the entire time, and that's what we're here about.
What is the one standout moment from today's arguments that you focused in on?
I just found it fascinating that we are talking about a clerk who the justices are calling rogue, who everyone agrees did unprecedented misconduct. That's fascinating to me, JR. Normally it is very much kind of what they argued in the rest of, today about evidentiary issues. I mean, obviously they talked about the financial crimes. That would normally be the bell ringer legal issue. But normally we're talking about objections, and they mentioned some of the firearms analysis and some of that stuff coming in, and that's normally the meat and drink, so to speak, of a Supreme Court oral argument. And so the fact that they're all just agreeing that this clerk did just absolutely terrible things, to influence a jury is always going to be the standout moment.
And to reiterate your point, Attorney Dick Harpootlian talked about Becky Hill and the financial gain point of all of this.
Right. I mean, that, Creighton Waters wants to talk about motive a lot, and I think Becky Hill, that was her motive, right? And so she's pled guilty to misconduct. She's been deemed to have perjured herself before a former great Chief Supreme Court Justice in Jean Toll, and so her credibility's shattered, and everyone kind of agrees that she did a terrible thing. So it's just, as Creighton Waters was saying, he's just so guilty, and these comments are not that egregious, even though he admits that they're really bad. And I just don't think you can have your cake like that and also eat it. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a terrible situation for both sides, and no one got a fair trial.
The justices honing in on Becky Hill today, but also they had something to say. They were saying things about the evidence that was admitted into court, the financial crimes that Judge Newman allowed, and they seem to have a lot of concerns and questions about that too.
They did, and there was a lot of that. Normally, financial crimes or any kind of bad character evidence to prove that you have bad character and therefore you should be guilty, or a jury can see you as guilty on what you're charged with, is absolutely impermissible. Here it came in, and I remember when Judge Newman let that in, I was with my brother and we kind of looked at each other and we're just kind of shocked at that, because that is a major reason for an appeal if there is a conviction. And normally you have to really open the door. I mean, if Alex-Murdaugh said, hey, I didn't kill my family because I'm squeaky clean in every aspect of my life, then that would allow for pending charges of that significance to come in to say, And I think that was what Judge Newman's initial ruling was, and it turned out that he didn't really open the door to anything by just testifying.
Okay. So Attorney Brian Shealy, you are staying with us for the next couple of hours to keep sharing your knowledge and expertise. Right now, though, we are